Right now, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen, San Antonio -2.5, total sitting 219.5. There are some 220/220.5s out there. And of course, the Odds Logic. Guys, if you haven't gotten the free trial, just try it. oddslogic.com/Teddy. It takes about a minute to fill out the form. You get free 7-day trial of the Odds Logic live odds screen, and it helps. It helps in a lot of different ways. Shows you where the sharp money is. You can group your books together. You can know when you what bet now or bet later. oddslogic.com/Teddy. But the Odds Logic screen says all the money's come for San Antonio, 2.5, the prevailing number right now. And again, the total sitting in the 220 range. So we've seen Spurs money. And conceptually, I'm looking for reasons to bet the Spurs. In general, in NBA playoff series, especially as we get to game 3, game 4, after the first 2 games, I'm really looking to bet on the team that I think is going to win the series. And I think San Antonio wins this series, whether Wemby plays or whether Wemby's all concussed. And that was a nasty hit to the back of his head, man. If you watch that in slow-mo, you're like, ow! That said, he went through walkthroughs. He drilled with the team, and he's in Portland. So there's at least a chance he will suit up this evening. And like the Spurs have all this postseason success or all this postseason track record, they have none. So you say, oh, they could sit Wemby tonight. They'll be, San Antonio, there's urgency. This is not a team that has been in these spots, that has been able to overcome adversity on the road in the playoffs and and they haven't been in the playoffs. Not like Portland has, but we think about the Spurs as a battle-tested veteran team. Certainly you look at the Harrison Barnes and the Aaron Foxes of the world, and there's certainly lots of veterans on that squad, but the core of that team is very, very young with very, very little postseason experience, which isn't an optimal thing when you talk about, what's the Moda Center going to look like tonight? What's the Rose Garden? That place is going to be nuts as it gets for a home court in the NBA. It mattered. Those home courts mattered last night. Toronto's home court was insane, and it made a difference. Cleveland couldn't match their energy, and it wasn't the only team like that. So it's certainly no gimme for the Spurs this evening. And there's this thought process that Portland isn't that good. If you watch Portland all year, they're pretty good. I'm just a star. All right. They're young backwards. Scoot Henderson all of a sudden showing signs of being a really good player, the player that we thought that he was going to be. And the young talent they have, the low post presence of Clingham, this is not a team that's going to roll over. This is a tough out for San Antonio tonight. No question about it. That being said, all right, the Spurs off a loss, 14-7 ATS. We love San Antonio off a defeat. This has been their role. The Spurs had a better road record, and the Blazers had home record this season. We know that Portland can win on the highway. The Spurs went 12-6 straight up with Wemby not on the floor this year. More than capable of winning without their superstar. And the Spurs are absolutely the team that I expect to win the series, even though I don't know that it's going to be a walkover. We look at Portland, and it's certainly worth noting, they lost 17 times on this floor this year. And they didn't lose much down the stretch, but who'd they play? Well, Indiana, Utah, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Dallas, Washington, New Orleans, and Sacramento, all at home, all since March. They faced a litany of weak foes. Blazers stole game 2. I could only take San Antonio in game 3, but this stays for me in the lean category. I have not actually put money on the Spurs, and certainly not in this point spread range. We've seen -2.5s out there right now for San Antonio, the prevailing number, and you missed a good one. There were -1s out there for quite some time, -1, -1.5 for the Spurs. If you're trying to bet late, you're stuck betting the money line for this one. And if you like San Antonio, money line is probably the way I would look.
All right, we move to the Lakers and the Rockets, I hope.
That one you nailed.
Okay, good. Thank God the graphic matches what I said. All right. I would say most people would look at this and go, what in the world? Laying 9 points with Houston over under 207. What do you make of this game?
So the Rockets have looked pretty awful the first 2 games of this series. The first without Durant, the second with Durant. Now there are questions tonight where Durant is once again questionable for this evening. And it's not like Kevin Durant made a big difference in game 2. The Rockets were bad without Durant, and they were bad with Durant. Some of that has to do with the Lakers. And again, we're looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen where LA's +9 in this ballgame, +8.5 at a handful of shops, 207, the prevailing number. But we look at the Lakers dating back to the end of the regular season, 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread, each and every one of those wins coming by 10 points or more against the point spread. So when you talk about current form, when we talk about the Lakers without Reeves and without Luka, they've been an undervalued commodity. The betting markets have not priced LA correctly without their two or their three superstars. And some of that has to do with Houston. All right. The Rockets, there have been chemistry concerns issues this season for Houston. It looked down the stretch like they'd finally found their way, and the all Kevin Durant burner accounts criticizing his teammates over the All-Star break were just nonsense, and none of that was real. And they played good ball for about 2 weeks, and then they played the Lakers. And that was then, this is now. It's not like this series is over. When we look at the series price here, it's like the Lakers are, insane favorites. They're minus 150, minus 140, minus 170. The markets still think that Houston's very, very live in this series. That said, if you've actually been watching the games, there's nothing to like about Houston. There's no way. I can't get to the window with the Rockets in the bounce back of all bounce back spots, and I'm a guy that doesn't worry about what a team necessarily looked like last time or the time before. But there's enough smoke around the Houston team that from a side standpoint, I ain't getting there. -8, -9. It's too high. I think the bet here, and what have we seen in the first two games of the series? We've seen a very slow pace and a very limited offensive flow for either squad. And again, we may have Reeves in the lineup, we may not. We may have Durant in the lineup, we may not. Either way, I'm not expecting any kind of pace. Both these teams are going to play slow. B, the Lakers defense is way better than their season-long stats are going to indicate. They're playing playoff level defense. They've done it in each of the first two games of this season. Houston's a really good defensive team. So we have slow pace and good defenses. Game 1 stayed under. Game 2 stayed under. You know where I'm going for game 3. We are not expecting points in bunches. Look for another under as the Rockets play the Lakers in Houston in this game 3 showdown.
All right, Teddy covers. We did sell me last week with the Knicks and the Hawks. We're running out of time, Teddy, so we don't have a sell me. We're going to give away a 3-day pass every time the Hawks or the Knicks win. It looks like we may get 6 or 7 winners out of this one. So congrats. Dan, who's our winner?
We got Fran is our winner, and back-to-back winners for those who are backing Teddy. So, yes, we'll give up to 7 of these free 3-day flex passes, for whenever one of these teams wins this series. It's been a real tight series thus far, so Teddy wins another one for the folks. Fran, your free 3-day pass is going to be added to your page by the end of this show. So congratulations, and Teddy, well done, my friend. Well done. If people use their flex pass and head on over to wt.buzz/TC, what kind of stuff are they going to find for tonight and heading into the weekend?
Well, real quick, Ski's in the house. Hakeem Prophet, who's as fun in the NBA right now. I'm hot. He's even hotter. Quote, there's one thing I like about Houston today. Reed Shepherd is supposed to get more minutes. They desperately need his shooting. When he was out of the starting lineup, Houston began winning, covering, and team total over. So Ski throwing his 2 cents in. Thank you, Ski, for joining
And
us.
Teddy did see it.
Stay hot, brother. Stay hot. That being said, I got a 5% big ticket tonight. I think Ski does too. And they might both be on the same game. So buy from him. It's okay. I won't be mad at you. But 5% big ticket does go this evening. I don't have many of them. 6-2 for the full season in the NBA. 75%. 41-20 over the last 5 years. Again, I don't put out a lot of these. I really don't. I had one earlier in the week. We cashed. I had one tonight. I expect to cash as well. Check it out on my homepage, www.buzz/TC. And oh, by the way, 90% MLB run as well. We're hot right now. Time to get on board.
Let's go, Teddy. Well, stay hot, my friend. Always a pleasure, and we'll see you next week, man. Good luck this weekend.
Cheers. Thank you. I'll take all the luck I can get, brother. I really will.